Okay, picture this. What if every single engineer at a company got a corporate credit card with no spending limit? Sounds kind of crazy, right? Well, that's pretty much what the cloud has enabled. And yeah, it's created a massive billion-dollar problem that needs a totally new kind of solution. So today, we're going to talk about FinOps. It's this discipline that's taming the wild west of cloud spending, and get this, it's creating a whole new wave of essential tech careers. Let's get into it.
So, to really get why FinOps is such a big deal, we've got to start with a problem it was created to solve. A problem that, ironically, the cloud itself created. And believe me, it's a huge one. I mean, really think about that for a second. The absolute best thing about the cloud is its speed, its agility. An engineer can spin up thousands of dollars worth of servers with just one command to handle, say, a sudden rush of traffic. But what happens when that traffic dies down and those servers are just left running, forgotten? That incredible power suddenly becomes this massive, silent leak in the company's bank account. This slide just nails the fundamental shift. Back in the old data center days, buying servers was a capital expenditure, CapEx for short. It was exactly like buying a house, a huge, planned-out purchase that needed tons of approvals. It was slow, but it was controlled. The cloud, on the other hand, is an operational expenditure, or OpEx, and that's our credit card with no limit. Spending is decentralized, it happens in seconds, and all those traditional financial guardrails, poof, they're gone. And this right here is the heart of the problem. We call it the variable spend paradox. The exact same agility that lets a company innovate and move at the speed of light is the very thing that can cause costs to just spiral out of control. So the speed you absolutely love creates these bills you absolutely cannot predict. So how in the world do you solve a paradox like that? How do you get all the speed and power of the cloud without the financial chaos? Well, the answer is FinOps. Okay, I know this is the official definition from the FinOps Foundation, and it's a bit of a mouthful, but there are two phrases in here that are absolutely key: cultural practice and collaboration. See, FinOps isn't some tool you can just buy, and it's not a job you just hand off to the finance team. It is a fundamental change in how different teams work together. It's like a sports team where everyone, the players, the coaches, everyone, knows the playbook and works together to win. And that's the most crucial point. People hear FinOps and think it's all about cutting costs. It's not. It's about getting the absolute most value out of every single dollar you spend in the cloud. It's about building a culture where everyone feels responsible for the costs they create, mainly because they finally have the tools and the data to see and control them. So to make this whole cultural shift actually happen, FinOps is built on three simple but really powerful rules. Let's break them down. First up, collaboration. It's totally non-negotiable. For decades, you had engineering and finance living in completely different universes. Engineers would build stuff, and a month later, finance would get this ridiculously complicated bill they couldn't understand. FinOps says, nope, you're partners now. Finance has to learn to speak tech, and engineers have to learn that cost is a feature just as important as performance or security. Rule number 2, and this one is a total game changer: ownership. This basically means the engineers who are designing and building the apps also get the tools to see the real-time cost of their decisions. And look, this isn't about pointing fingers or placing blame. It's all about empowerment. When a team can literally see that a tiny change to their code could save the company thousands of dollars a month, you better believe they're motivated to find those savings. And finally, all of this is guided by a small, central team. But they're not the cost police. Not at all. Think of them more like coaches. Their job is to hand out the playbook. They provide the right tools, they negotiate better deals with the cloud providers, and they teach everyone else how to get better at optimizing. They make spending smarter feel less like a chore and more like a game. Okay, so that's the philosophy. Now, let's talk about how it actually works day to day. FinOps runs on a continuous loop, a cycle. It always starts with the inform phase. I mean, you can't fix what you can't see, right? So step 1 is getting total, crystal clear visibility into who is spending what and why. Once you have that data, you move to optimize. This is where the real fun begins. You start finding savings by right-sizing servers, getting rid of waste, and locking in better rates. And finally, you operate. This is all about making these good habits stick. You automate them, you build them into the company culture, and then the cycle starts right back at the beginning. Always getting better. Okay, this all probably sounds great for big corporations, but why should this matter to you, especially if you're just starting to think about your career? Well, the answer is pretty simple. FinOps is creating a whole new set of skills that are ridiculously in demand across the entire tech industry. This chart shows you the real-world impact perfectly.
One of the biggest headaches for any CFO is when spending is unpredictable. So in the crawl stage, this company's cloud spending forecast was off by 20%. That is a massive swing that can mess up financial planning for the entire business. But as their FinOps practice got better, moving to the run stage, they cut that variance down to just 12%. That predictability, that stability, that's what lets a company confidently invest in its own growth.
So let's bring it back to you. How does this actually shape your future? Well, if you're an aspiring engineer, listen up. Understanding cost is your new superpower. Seriously, you'll be the one building systems that aren't just powerful, but are also profitable. For all you finance students out there, forget about dealing with month-old invoices. You'll be on the front lines analyzing data in real time to drive huge strategic decisions. And for you future product managers, FinOps gives you the keys to the kingdom. You get to understand the true cost of your digital products, which lets you innovate with confidence. Mastering these principles will make you an absolutely indispensable part of the team, whichever path you choose. So I'm going to leave you with this one thought. In the world of the cloud, every single technical decision is also a financial one. There's no escaping it. FinOps is the framework that helps make sure those decisions are smart, they're informed, and they drive real business value. This isn't just some niche job anymore. It's a core skill for the next generation of tech leaders. Thanks for tuning in, and start thinking about how you can bring a FinOps mindset to wherever you're headed next.